I have a hypothetical for you and a thought. So, one of my daughter's best friends had her little birthday party. Little Reagan turned 7. So, we went to the bowling alley. I really like her parents. So I was like, I'll roll with mom and dad and everyone. We'll go. And let me tell you, all the dads that were there, the minute you bring up this Tyson-Jake Paul thing,
yeah,
it really is a great conversation because everyone has feelings about it.
I'll tell you what, though. The minute you bring it up and there's a parent that doesn't know about it, I immediately hate that guy.
Yeah, I'm like, where do you live
I'm like,
under?
seriously, you haven't heard about it yet? I immediately make up in my mind that I don't like him and like this guy's so out of it. How could you not know about this?
Oh, who's fighting?
Oh, you didn't hear about that. You got a phone? You have you have friends? Do you get your hair cut at the barbershop? How could you have missed it? My mom's in her 70s and she knows about that fight.
You talk about Mike Tyson, Jake Paul with anyone, and they have feelings. And the feelings will go in one of 3 directions. Man, Mike Tyson's going to kick his ass. And then you have to tell those people, I want that to happen too, guy.
But he's 58.
And then a lot of people have seen those videos. You know, the one where Tyson starts out with the heavy ball and he grunts like, ah!
I'm sorry.
In
those
one
videos,
day,
they're fun, but they don't mean anything.
I know, but that one video, you know it had 30 million views in one day?
I'm not surprised. He's the most interesting. Remember the Dos Equis guy?
Of course.
Tyson's the new most interesting man in the world.
So
everybody's intrigued by Mike Tyson.
Like my theory goes, if you're 40-ish or older, you're delusional in thinking that there's no way Mike Tyson could lose to an influencer. Now, there's some people...
Because he's a boxer. Jake Paul's a boxer now. Stop saying that.
There's some people that are shocked that Mike Tyson's an underdog. I'm like, yeah, like a significant underdog.
That's what happens when you're almost 60 and you don't fight anymore.
Then, of course, there's the element of...
People are delusional, I'm telling you.
I had a couple of my buddies, Jorge and Aldo. I'm like the one white guy in all the parental crowd here.
How does it feel?
I like it.
Now you know how I feel when I'm hanging out with all your friends.
I'm everyone's favorite white guy. So, we're talking about how people love to say the fix is in.
Yeah, a lot of people saying that.
Then you got to ask yourself, Danny G, do you think Mike Tyson at this stage of the game, with the legacy of everyone loves him, the weed gummies, his company, one of the most feared men in boxing or fight history, you think he would take a fall?
Not for money, because he has enough of that now after his
the Tyson Ranch.
After his rebound. He used to be bankrupt back in the day.
He has his legacy.
Yeah,
you know?
And then we even talked to an 11-year-old on Saturday when we were in Nashville, remember? What did he tell you about the Paul Tyson fight?
Fixed. If it's legit.
He said if it's for real and it's not rigged.
Yeah.
That's everybody's first thought. If it's a real fight, this or that will happen.
Yeah, one of our listeners brought their kid. We're not hanging out at the playground. 11-year-old. But no, it's true, though. Like, people want to say, what's the fix? And it's like, well, the fix is the fix that you really think Mike Tyson would agree, don't worry, I won't knock you out. Like, when you're fighting, you can't prevent that, can you? You got to be pretty orchestrated, like a WWE wrestler at that point, no?
I think there was an understanding between Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. that they were going to fight, but they weren't going for a knockout. I'm not saying that's the truth. I'm saying I think there was more of an exhibition thing going on there. I'm not getting that vibe from this fight. I'm getting the vibe that this is a real fight. I'm not thinking this is some sort of exhibition. I don't think there's a fix. I don't think it's rigged. I never think that.
And the last quick layer of this, and then I'll give you my hypothetical. The last quick layer is that I was happy to see that everyone I talked to, a lot of the parents, because a lot of times, I'll be honest, you talk to other parents, like, what life do they live? I'm always fascinated by the other parents.
Jake Paul, who's that?
Not knowing things. Like, a song is playing. I'm like, you know, this is like, yeah, it's, I don't know, Morgan Wallen. How do you not know that? Or that's Dua Lipa. It's from the Barbie movie. Like, where do you live? Jake Paul's fighting Mike Tyson? What? I'm living the mom and dad life.
We landed on the moon.
I'm a dad of a 6 and 4-year-old. I'm in the mix, dude. I'm as busy as anyone, but when people don't know crap, I'm fascinated. Anyway, I was happy to know that all the parents I talked to were all like, well, in July, we all got to get together then. It confirmed to me that if these casual other parents are like, well, that's something we all got to watch.
Oh, it's going to be huge. Reason to get together.
It mentally confirmed to me that because it's on Netflix, you don't have to pay $90 for it. This may be the most watched thing in Netflix history.
I I don't think there's any question at all. What are you comparing it to? The Love is Blind reunion? Absolutely going to be the biggest
honestly,
event.
What would you think the top ones are?
That's it.
A new Chappelle special, new Stranger Things, like
this
would be number one.
Guaranteed. Between Jake Paul's impact and influence and Mike Tyson's combined, people's nostalgia, wanting to reconnect generations. Like young people are excited, old people are excited.
It's generations colliding.
Generations colliding, and you're definitely going to get a huge turnout and viewership as a result.
Think about it. Like your parents' generation may want to watch.
Yes, they will.
You're going to want to watch, and a young kid's going to be like, "Oh, Jake Paul's." Everyone's going to watch this thing, and you could say it's
going to be inspiring for old people.
You could say it's an S show. You could say, "Who cares?"
You know what's going to happen? There's going to be like, let's say Tyson does get that early round knockout. All these old people are going to be walking with their chest out, thinking they could still bring it.
Yeah,
there's going to be like an explosion of like old guys starting fights at the bar. It's going to be so odd. You'll see.
I'm not as good as I once was.
Yeah.
I'm as good once as I ever was.
Yeah, because he's going to inspire a lot of people if that happens, which is great.
I think it's going to be a huge event. I'm really excited about it. If you're not, I don't know what to tell you. Then you can't come to my house. But there's a backdrop here. Quick hypothetical, and then we'll get to the Steelers. But I feel like everyone can relate to this. I'm at the kid's birthday party, and like 6 of the adults say, I'll bowl.
Hey, by the way, what's your going rate for gift nowadays in 2024? Because I'll tell you what it's at.
My wife handled it. I'm guessing 50.
It's 50 beans. You remember like you throw $20 in the birthday card or 25?
It was always a 20 spot.
It was like a 20 spot, right? $50, Danny G.
Inflation, man.
My daughter's like, can you buy a $50 Sephora card? I'm like, I can, but I don't want to. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah,
$50.
50 beans.
It's at a $50 rate. Again, in Los Angeles, that's where we are, but still, it's not $20 anymore. Wherever you are, it's not $20.
So that was another gauge, by the way. You know how you can assess another grown man by, throw me this ball. And by him throwing it to you, like, Danny, you got a good arm. We throw the football a lot. I could tell Danny knows how to throw. You ever throw a football or a ball with someone and you're like, is this person, like, you ever play sport in your life? Like, I'm fascinated when I see someone like, that's your mechanics? All right.
Yeah, like sometimes on purpose you'll throw with your left arm.
Yeah.
But that's the way they look like throwing with their dominant arm.
Exactly. I'm fascinated by that. Bowling. I'm fascinated how many parents were like, no, I'll sit this one out.
Sit it out.
Like, what a dud you are. Like, you're at a kid's bowling party, and they're like,
and what a terrible example you're setting for your kids.
They got 6 lanes roped off. The kids are doing the bumper bowl. Everyone's having fun. There's pizza and snacks.
I'm thinking to myself, wait, are they paying for this? Because then I'm bowling definitely for free. Let's go. I paid $50 for this stupid party.
You know what? If you want to add that layer, they did pay. So
yeah.
I'm like,
if I'm giving his nose-picking kid $50 as a present, I'm getting my free pizza. I'm getting my bowling in. I'm having fun.
So my thought was, of course I'll bowl. I was fascinated how many of the adults were like, no, I'll pass. It's like, so you'd rather just sit there, huh?
Nerdy parents.
Those
are nerdy parents who don't know Tyson's fighting in July.
You'd rather just sit there. So I'm bowling. Now, I'm not saying I'm no...
You know Norm Duke?
I'm no Norm Duke or...
You know Parker Bone?
Who do you think you are? I am!
You know Pete Weber?
I'm no Pete Webb, so I'm no P-Dubs. But I was just on. And
were you doing the Fred Flintstone Twinkle Toes?
I do a little Twinkle Toes action.
Or were you like, Steve Rake?
And I'm not bragging, because I could go out there today and stink.
I mean, that's the aggravation of bowling.
But we talked about joining a bowling league like a month ago on the show. Yeah. My first game, I bowled exactly a 180. I took the screenshots.
Which is good. That's good for not bowling in a long time.
Sent it to COVINO to prove that I wasn't full of it. I was like, 180. I was feeling pretty good. I start bowling the second game. And
by the way, Danny G, I saw the scores, right? He sent me a shot.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's Chuck? Chuck bowled a 57. I said, Rich, is he one of your friends? Because I would cancel him as a friend right now. That guy should be embarrassed.
I have to bowl 100.
That guy should be embarrassed. His wife should divorce him because he bowled a 57. You, as a grown man, have to break 100, especially in front of your kids. Your kids are embarrassed of you. His dad just bowled a 57. That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
So, Rich, you must look like a superhero to those kids.
My kids are like, Dad, you're muscles. I'm like, I know.
I know.
So, you know, that's another rule. If you're a grown man or a woman.
This dude had 3 open frames in a row.
Can I tell you? No, not open, like gutter ball frames.
Gutter ball frames.
For you to bowl a 100, you need 1 to 2 marks, meaning a spare or a strike, 2 out of 10 frames. If you can't do that as a grown-up, Go home.
You got to break 100.
So I bowl 180. I was sort of impressed with myself. I thought I was going to bowl like a 140, 150, right? Yeah, I thought I'd be rusty.
180's good,
so
yeah.
Second game, I'm like, let me see what I could do.
You were in the zone, huh?
Dan Byer, 5th frame. I had a 98 working on 2 strikes. So, it adds up.
Yes.
10 plus 10.
You had a turkey going on again?
I was 1 strike away from working a turkey, 5th frame with a 98. Working on 2 strikes. They're like, now the kids are going to go to the arcade. Let's wrap up. And I couldn't finish the game. And Covino goes, bro, I would have stayed and finished the game.
This is absurd to me, Dan Byer.
I would have as well. Yeah.
I had 4 frames up. I had got a strike in the 6th.
He had no open frames. He had a mark, a spare or a strike in every frame that game.
I've only bowled over 200 once in my life, and I'm like, I might have a shot here. And I had to go play.
Someone watch my kids. I got work to do.
Yes.
That's what I would. Yes.
Yes. So that's the question at hand right now.
They gave every kid a little piece of cake on a plate, and they're like, "Now we're gonna
cake.
Now we're gonna move to the arcade." And I was like, "Okay, but do we have 3 friends?"
You could have respectfully paused, went there, sang happy birthday, blew your little bird, came back and finished your game out. I don't care what the other parents. You know why the other parents didn't care? Because they sucked. That's why. I already established this guy bowled a 50-something. That's why they didn't care. No one cared. You should have cared. I would have definitely finished out that game. I was mad at Rich because Rich hit me up. He's like, "Yo, dude, I'm in the zone. Look, check this out." So I asked him. I said, "Well, would you finish out that second game?" And he's like, "I never finished it." And I was like, "What?
Yeah,
Come on.
I did. First of all, you know what? You also don't. We keep making fun of the guy that's like not into sports or that doesn't know things. You know what I also didn't want to be?
What?
I didn't want to be the grown-up at a kid's birthday party that was taking it way too serious.
Why? You were having a moment.
I know, but I didn't want to be the guy like, "Hey, yo."
Yeah, no
Emmy,
one else was
hey,
was doing as good as you. That's why.
Did you see Emmy's dad? All the kids are in the arcade and everyone's eating cake, and Emmy's dad's there on the lanes by himself.
Why? Because I think there's nothing wrong with that.
out freak.
You know what?
What a weirdo.
Yeah, he takes things a little serious. Probably
And I
really
heard-
hard
I
on
heard
his
he-
kids.
Put her in a different school.